Hello and welcome back to Berserker, and when we left off we were only at war against the Crusade, and I think probably one other person, maybe just the Crusade actually, now that I think about it. But anyway, point is we were, let's just say we had a setback. Ah, yes, Tempest Keep, it was merely a setback. Yes, okay, there we go, good reference, a long time ago reference. If you got that reference, then props to you, because that's fantastic. Anyway, here we are again, up against the Western Empire, and we are indeed at war against them. We are at war against the Botanians. Hilariously enough, I don't believe the Botanians have any fief whatsoever, as far as I can tell. I mean, I've taken a look over my territory right here, and you can see that they don't have anything, because I'm also seeing castles at the moment too. And I've also taken a look at Sturgeon territory, and it's the same story there. They declared war against me as well, and they decided, okay, apparently we don't have any fiefs either. So yeah, they have nothing to contribute as well. So what we're going to do is, with my newly formed army, by the way, none of this is magic, because let's face it, I am literally almost about to go bankrupt, as you can see right here. And usually when I come back after a setback, I usually have an army that is completely fine, you know, tier 5, you know, units all across the board and everything. But that is usually only when I have a lot of cash and I don't have to focus on making both at the same time. So I don't have to focus on getting experience and gold at the same time. But as you can see right here, we're in the process of it. I have 105 Berserkers, and we have Bear Tyrants and Bear Brutes and Bear Soldiers, and you can see that they are all in the process of leveling up. And I'm very much hoping that we'll be able to finish that off in this episode as well. Anyway, these are my current speed settings, as you can see right here. I have no herd problems whatsoever, but I do have footmen on horses issues. I literally have no horses, obviously, because of the setback, you know, the setback. Nothing to worry about there. Anyway, I've attempted to do some smithing, but then I remembered, oh yeah, because of that whole business in the previous episode, we don't have any crafting materials. Yeah, no crafting materials whatsoever. So obviously that is a bit of a problem, isn't it? That is a bit of a problem. And I just want to say something real fast about the previous siege in the previous episode. I actually felt like we played that quite well, and yes, okay, admittedly it would probably have been, it probably would have been okay if we had stayed within the walls, but just bear in mind, think about this, the ratio of units that we were losing in comparison to the opponent. It felt as though we were just not, we were just about close scraping by in terms of either a victory or a defeat. And so that was the reason why I made the decision to go outside and see if I could maybe do something there. And obviously, as you may or may not have seen, but my comment, you know, my pinned comment on the previous episode as well, I personally feel like going outside the walls is extremely fun, and it, I don't know, it just kind of gives you that real fun experience of just basically being by yourself, and you're fighting against many opponents at the same time, and you have to rely on yourself to be able to get yourself out of all these kinds of difficult situations and everything. And while we did end up having a setback, I don't really mind too much. I don't really mind, because I think it was about time that that kind of thing happened anyway, because let's face it, it's been basically the whole series where we haven't had any problems whatsoever, but now we have, and now it's about time we get our revenge. Yes, it is about time that we do that. And hopefully I'm going to be able to do okay here. Oh yeah, by the way, I did use all of my thrown weapons. I think I saw someone say that I didn't use all my thrown weapons. I did. It was just the fact that I think in siege offenses, I don't get, actually siege defenses, should I say? I don't get the bonus from the throwing weapon perk. And I do in siege offenses and not defenses. So that's also something to bear in mind, because as far as I'm aware, I get additional ammunition when I'm actually attacking in a siege. whereas in a defensive situation, I don't, which is kind of weird in itself, but yeah, so that is, in my opinion... Oh, look at that guy, he's hanging around, look at him, look at that guy went... Oh, that is hilarious, that is amazing, okay, yeah, the, the sheer force of the javelin hit must have taken him and just impaled him against the what is it? I don't know, the top or whatever it's called. I don't know, the rooftop of that particular merchant stall. But there you go. We did actually end up achieving victory, amazingly enough. I mean, do bear in mind that my forces are not particularly good at the moment, but they are going to level up very, very quickly. But again, I don't have any money. Basically, I have very, very small amounts of cash, and I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm generally going to take... weapons if I can, because I'd like to get a couple of, you know, pieces of, you know, crafting materials and stuff like that. I'm going to, actually, should I loot this? You know what? I'm going to reset this. And we will just take the most expensive stuff, including the horse, and then we'll just leave, and then we'll get all the experience as a result of that. I'm going to decline to take this fief, because I don't think I have the ability to maintain any kind of garrison at the moment, so I'm basically just going to leave it the way it is, and it will go to a vote, and then someone will get it. But generally, what I want to stress right now to you is the fact that I play this game for fun, and hopefully you find it enjoyable, fun, whatever you want to say, as well, to watch me and to experience the journey with me as well, because I mean that's the whole point, isn't it? That's the whole point. Everyone has fun, you know. So that is generally my number one thing that I think about every single time I do something. I think, is this going to be fun? Is this going to be fun for me? Is this going to be fun for you? That's the main thing. Because if it's not, and if it's just a annoying, frustrating grind or whatever, then that's kind of meh, you know. It's kind of meh. It's not really something you wanna be focusing on too much. So that's the reason why I thought to myself, staying in the walls, that's kind of, you know, it's a little bit stagnant, a little bit static. I want to get out there. I want to do as much damage as possible and just see what happens. And well, we did have a very cool moment, gotta say that. We did have an extremely cool moment, in my opinion, at least. Anyway, we're gonna give Morenia Castle to Mr. Saratis right here, and I only have 24,000 gold. So this is a bit of a do-or-die situation here. If I'm able to take Vostrum, I will be able to take a huge amount of prisoners. I will be able to sell those prisoners. I'll also be able to take a lot of loot. I'll be able to sell my loot. I'll be able to maybe make some weapons in the smithy as well. Because bear in mind that my towns are quite far away. Danustica is over there, and I think that is a neutral town at the moment. So I technically would have been able to go over there, but I think we might have a good chance of actually achieving victory here, even though there are a lot of very good units stationed here. You can see that they have a bunch of high-tier horse archers. They have 10 of those. They have 12 Imperial Sergeant crossbowmen, which, as we know, is, in my opinion, one of the strongest ranged units in the game. You know, just generally because of their versatility. They're able to fight in close quarters combat with a heavy shield and everything, and they're also able to do massive damage from a fair distance away with their crossbows too. So those guys are going to pose a bit of a problem, but hopefully the amount of units that I have at a high enough tier at the moment will be able to see us through this. So let's just see if I can maybe do something here. Yes, here we go. Oh yeah, and that's actually something that I definitely should have done. Using the hold position command. Using the hold position command at the, basically in front of the gate in the previous siege. In the previous episode, shall we say, that would have, I think, probably made a difference. And that is a good point. That is a very, very good point. Someone actually brought that up, and I thought to myself, oh yeah, why didn't I do that? You know? Why didn't I do that? Because I did tell them to charge, even after I had died, but I think after the third death or something, because obviously RTS camera allows me to take over one of my units. After that, I actually forgot to continue telling them to charge. So that was also the reason why, I suppose, it kind of resulted in a bit of a bad situation for me to be in. These guys are so annoying. They really are so incredibly annoying. These guys with the maces, the ones with the maces, they always seem to completely destroy me in close quarters combat. Oh yes, come on now. We need more kills. We need more kills. And that's also something that someone mentioned as well, which I thought was very amusing. Someone said, "Oh yeah, that's very realistic. Someone blocking this massive two-handed axe with one hand." Yeah, I agree. I agree. That is certainly something that should not be happening in general. I think that should definitely be a crush-through block or something. Because let's face it, this massive axe, you really think someone is going to be able to block this with one hand? I mean, yeah, maybe Thor. You know, Thor might be able to do that. But generally, a regular, random militia, no, I don't think so. Especially a militia archer, no less. But yeah, that gave me a chuckle. You know, that gave me a chuckle because I very much concur with that thought. Anyway, let's just see if we can continue to fight these enemies off. They seem to want to come up here super badly, but there isn't even a siege equipment emplacement up here at all. So I'm not entirely sure why they're doing that. What? Did you... Did you see that? Okay, that is actually very funny. Okay, so basically what happened there, if you didn't happen to catch it, I mean, I think you could probably go back and you could probably see it. Maybe you could see it, maybe you couldn't. But anyway, the point is, I hit the guy in the head, right? I hit the guy in the head with the javelin. And because of the sheer force of the hit that the javelin causes, as we know, you know, it does cause some extremely amusing ragdolls. At least I think they're funny. Anyway, the point is, I hit him in the head, and usually when you hit people in the head with a projectile, they are just kind of gonna go limp and they're gonna just fall down to the ground. You know, that's usually what's going to happen because that's realistic. But here's the thing. In this case, I hit him so hard for so much damage, almost 850 damage with that javelin, that his body flailed around like no one's business, basically. And yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was actually very cool to see that, because that just illustrates how powerful the javelins can be at times. Okay, come on now. Yes, let's not die now, please. And usually, when you hit someone in the head, you're just going to see them just go floppy, you know? They're just going to go floppy, and they're just going to fall down to the ground, and that's basically it. But in that case, that was fantastic. That was one of the funniest moments that we've had, apart from the fact that that guy got stuck in the roof of the merchant's little stall before. I thought that was amusing too. Anyway, oh, what? Blaze? Who's that? You see that? I just killed someone called Blaze? Who's Blaze? Johnny Blaze, are you here? Why am I making all these Marvel references today? I have no idea. Anyway, the point is, why is Mr. Blaze here? I don't really understand. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, let's just see. Yeah, get him. Okay, can I get this guy too? Ooh, not good enough. Not good enough. Also, I personally feel like the amount of force that I'm hitting these guys with should technically give me a little bit of unit penetration as well. So it should be that the guy behind just flies into the guy in front. I think that would be quite funny, and there might be a little bit of collateral damage there or something like that. I don't know. Just for, I mean, it is amusing, but not realistic, obviously. I mean, maybe. I mean, a ballista bolt obviously would be quite realistic in that sense, but not in terms of a thrown javelin. Not unless the person throwing it is Hercules or something. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, we were able to win that, amazingly enough. Didn't get a huge amount of experience for my troops, amazingly, but hopefully we will in just a second. Going to be taking all these prisoners, of course. 117,000 experience. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Thank you very much. Let's get any potential horses, any food. No, okay. Everything else is fair game then. 117,000 experience. I will be very happy to take that. Bear in mind, I could have taken all of that loot to sell, but the main reason why I'm not taking it to sell is because I think I have enough in terms of prisoners to sort of get me a little bit up above the critical threshold. And I also have a number of, you know, as you can see right here, I have a number of things that I can indeed sell. And I'm also going to be able to go into the smithy here too, which is also going to make a pretty big difference. So what we're going to do is we're just going to smelt a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just going to literally smelt as much as I possibly can. And then we're going to make some more charcoal here, of course. And we're going to do the same thing once more. There we go. And done. And now let's see what I can make. Can I make something cool? Let's make a... I don't know. Let's make a two-handed... Let's make a two-handed sword. Because I'm obviously looking to try and get some money. So... let's see. Can I make this? Yes, I can. Can I make that? Yes, I can. Okay, fantastic. It's looking pretty good. I can't make that, but I can refine a couple of things to get that. So let's just make a couple of these. Smelt a couple of these as well. There we go. And now I should be able to make one of these. One. Okay. Oh, why am I making a one-handed sword? That is not what I want. I want a two-handed. Thank you very much. Alright, this is actually looking better, hilariously enough. Okay, let's go for a heavy saber blade. Let's make it large, because if you make it larger, then you're going to get, well, as far as I'm aware, you're going to get more money for it. At least that's what it used to be like. Maybe they changed that, or maybe I was not paying attention at the time. Who knows, who knows. Anyway, let's just see. There we go. Yes, I'm thinking that looks nice. And is that a... Ah, that's a one-handed slash two-handed. I'm not a big fan of those, so I'd like to make a two-handed only weapon if at all possible. There we go. Usually those are the ones that will get me good money. At least I think so. And otherwise, there we are. Okay, so everything is maxed out. That's usually, I think, because of the difficulty as well that you're going to get for that. Oh, look at that. Thrust speed and swing cutting damage +4. That's kind of crazy. Wow. That is actually kind of crazy. I'm going to call it kind of crazy. Yeah, kind of crazy. Why not? Was that a legendary? No, we haven't got the legendary ability just yet. We have masterwork. So maybe it was a masterwork sword or something. But there you go. That got +2. Sell this to brigands in Sherwood. Like a good horse. There we go. I have no idea how many characters you're actually able to enter into the name, into the naming field, but apparently it is a very, very long field there, which is hilarious in itself. Anyway, let's take a look and see what I can do. Okay, yeah, 38,000. That's pretty nice. I'm going to sell all of that. I'm going to keep this sword because I'm not entirely sure if I should use it. What am I currently using? 121 cutting, 114 cutting. The swing speed is obviously different. I mean, the swing speed is fantastic on the sword, but the length is a little bit less. The damage is a little bit less, but I mean, I'm gaining 17 speed. Is it worth it? Shall I try it out? Let's try it out a little bit, shall we? I'm not going to change to this full time, unless it's like really good. I mean, no, I'm not going to change to this full time. I mean, I might. I don't think so though. But yeah, we're gonna try it out and see what happens. Anyway, I'm just gonna wait here for some time because I do need to restore myself. Ah, there we go. The Western Empire is proposing peace with us. That is exactly what I would like to see because now I have taken all of their stuff and we don't need to worry about them anymore. So now we can give this to me or we can give this to Mr. Saratus. I believe we will give it to Mr. Saratus. That seems like a good idea. I personally do not want any additional garrisons. And yeah, hopefully we can try and prevent ourselves from having huge amounts of wages to pay for. Yeah, that would be nice, at least. Okay, so who's that? that's Aaron. It's Aaron right there. Okay, good to know. Alright, who are we at war against still? Okay, we're at war against the Crusade. As you can see, my armies are absolutely obliterating the Crusade. I don't know whether you've noticed that when I've zoomed out and taken a look at the world map, but you can see here that they have been extremely busy. It is not me, by the way. I've not been doing anything in the Crusade territories ever since the previous episode, and so they were able to take Odok by themselves. They were able to take Orthengard by themselves, and they also took Uzek Castle, and I believe they also took something else, but I think it may have gotten... No, they actually took that too. They took Erzener Castle and Odrisa Castle as well, which is actually amazing if you think about it. That is completely AI-driven aggression, which I gotta say, I applaud them for. I applaud them for that like no one's business, because it is a very tall order to get the AI to do anything that is going to help you in any meaningful way. So it's super nice to actually see that, you know, being done for once. Okay, so here we go. Do we want to fight a Crusade army? I'm kind of traumatized from last time, to be honest. 139 units can level up, though, so pretty happy with that. How many Berserkers do I have? 208. That's pretty good. We might as well try it, eh? These guys are now running away from me. I don't blame them. Wow. Oh, Tadios joined me. Oh, okay. Interesting. Right. Oh, yeah, wait. Who's Blaze? I want to find out who Blaze is. I forgot about that guy. Blaze. Who is this? Oh, it's not even a named. It's just some regular... What? I have never heard of this particular unit ever before. Who are these? It must be a minor faction of some kind. I have never encountered a Blaze unit before, or if I have, it was a very long time ago. That is weird, to say the least. I don't really know. Okay, fantastic. Good to know that. Good to know that. Anyway, I am going to be trying out my new sword in this fight. And let's see how this goes. Because who knows, maybe if it's a good sword, I might end up giving it to, wow, this is fast. I might end up giving it to my other forces. Because as we found out in the previous episode as well, axes, especially the axe that I gave all of my forces, it is quite slow to wield when you don't have the proficiency to support it. Because the proficiency itself that Bruce has right now, that is enabling him so much flexibility. It really is. Ugh, could I not hit someone? Okay, I hit something, but it was just a horse. Oh, wow. I hit that guy in the head for over 1,000 damage. Okay, that's pretty crazy. I can't believe I'm actually hitting people with my thrown weapons, to be honest. Can you imagine that that would be happening? You know, if you go back and you experience my first moments in Bannerlord, because obviously when the game came out, I was so incredibly excited. I was playing the game literally for, well, many, many hours and recording episodes and, you know, trying to experience all that I could. And, well, my experience initially was mixed, to say the least. Not because the game was bad, but because I was just generally getting used to the whole combat system and everything. And it was quite difficult for me to, you know, get used to it, because everything is quite a bit different from Warband. But what I'm trying to say is, my thrown weapon skill, my own player skill in those situations was lacking, to say the least. That is one of the biggest things. That is really, really bad, because I was literally using these thrown weapons, missing every single attack that I made, because, well, it's the beginning of the game. I have no proficiency. It's very difficult to actually hit with thrown weapons when you have a low proficiency and you're fighting against a very small handful of units. It's much easier to hit people when, well, when you have a lot of targets. I mean, obviously, that's a pretty obvious thing to say, but, you know, maybe it needs to be said. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, the amount of progression I've seen. I mean, look at that. I literally just, what? How did that happen? How did I, you know, kill that guy while he was charging towards me? That never would have happened before. I never would have been able to do that. And I don't know, maybe it's because my character at the moment is in such a, I mean, that was a headshot. Really? Yeah, anyway, my character at the moment is such an amazing beast in regards to his thrown weapon proficiency that maybe that's the reason, you know? Maybe that's the reason why I'm doing all right in terms of thrown weapons and their accuracy and how much I'm able to hit and all that stuff. But I like to think it's because I'm just that much more used to the game engine and how the combat works and everything. And it's just a very, you know, well, it's a learning experience. And generally, obviously, if I stop using this character and I play a different character, then it's going to be one of those things, you know? It's going to be one of those things where I'm thinking to myself, wow, how do I use this again, you know? It's like not using, I don't know, it's like not riding a bicycle. You always remember how to do it, but it may take you a bit of time to get used to the whole feeling of being on a bicycle again. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But generally, what I'm trying to say is that if I stop using thrown weapons, I'm probably going to return to being pretty awful at them, at least for a little bit, if I were to make a character in the future that also uses thrown weapons at some point. But have you noticed how effective this sword is at the moment? My sword is absolutely amazing, and it seems to be doing a lot of damage as well. So I'm thinking maybe it would be an idea to, well, maybe replace the axe. Might be about time to replace the axe with something new. Maybe that would be quite kind of fun. Oh, I literally just exited. Ah, I did that again. Oh well, never mind. We can just literally do an auto-resolve right there. That's not too bad. Okay, we're going to let everyone go because I would like to be able to potentially persuade people to join and so on. And we can take all of these prisoners, which is always great. And 54,000 experience. I will be taking all the horses, unless we have a herd problem. Do we have a herd problem? No, we do not. Okay, so that is perfectly fine. I do have... see, now this is where I'm in a bit of two minds, because I have a decent amount of cash. I mean, it's obviously far less than I had before, because, you know, I had, what, 300,000, 400,000, maybe somewhere around there. And now I have, well, nothing close to that. So maybe it would be a better idea for me to save my loot and sell it, rather than give myself additional level ups. And I'm thinking that might be a good idea, because as it stands, I think my units are going to be able to level up reasonably fast anyway. Once they get into battles and, you know, sieges and things like that, it really doesn't require too much extra work or contribution from other sources. So I think that in general we can probably justify taking the loot this time, and then we can sell it at the nearby Akalat. And we're also, of course, going to be selling our prisoners at the same time. So there we go, there's 28,000, sell the prisoners, and we should sell all of this. Only 17,000 though. Only 17,000 available here for some reason. Why is that? I have no idea, but I guess I'm just going to sell a bunch of stuff. And there we go, that should be fine. Alright, Ortengard is also available, Odok is also available, so I might as well go over there and see what's going on. And yeah, seems fine. I mean, it seems like the garrison is perfectly fine. I was actually hoping to recruit some more people here, some more volunteers, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Let's sell everything that we can here. Seems like we can actually do that. And I'm going to save my weapons, because you never know when I might want to do a little bit more smithing at some point. And otherwise, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. I thought it might be kind of interesting for you to see how my progression is going in terms of getting back on my feet. And also, obviously, the fact that my armies are doing such an incredible job of taking Khuzait territory. I have not done any of this. It's absolutely shocking. It is extremely shocking to me to see that. But in a good way, obviously. In a good way. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.